Hi, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your February 2nd, 2022 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Capricorn, February 2nd, 2022, Capricorn. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart or emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Sun, I love it. And we have the Lovers, which is Gemini energy. So the love from the Sun, the illumination that is leading us forward, is leading us to a place where we start to recognize our heart, where we start to recognize our soul, our desires. And that's really quite beautiful. We then have the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak, pain, and disappointment. And the Fool, which is being able to move forward. We're going to be looking at a lot of the hurts and the pains inwardly that have been holding us back, and now saying to ourselves, well, what do I need to move forward? Where is it that I want to be? What is it that I desire within my life? And why is it that I let these wounds define me for so long? And how is it that I work not around these wounds, but sometimes around the wounds, but acknowledging them to be able to break free from the hold that they have on me. It moves us to our emotional self, which is the Ten of Cups. I love it. And the Three of Cups. So the Ten of Cups is, and they all live happily ever after. For me, the Three of Cups is, who are we bringing to our table? All right? Who are we having sit around us, celebrate us, come forward for us? Are they the people in our lives that can celebrate us, that love us unconditionally, unbridledly? Or are they the people in our lives that tell us off, that have hurt us, who are supposed to be able to show up for us and just couldn't? Meaning, is this a parent who we could never really connect to, or a caregiver? Is this a sibling who, for some reason or another, always disliked us? Is this, a lover who broke our hearts in ways that was just devastating? We're going to find that we're bringing certain people to our table. We're having certain people around us. And we tend to have the negative words come forward because, well, they wouldn't say them if they didn't have a spark of truth to them. They wouldn't say them, or this wouldn't have happened if I was just better. We have small coping mechanisms, not small, but they're coping mechanisms that we have from childhood that we're still bringing forward into our waking world now, into our emotional world now. And that's going to be something that's very intense to look at because we're seeking the happiness here. We then have the Four of Wands. This is celebration. This is success. This is prosperity. This is the minor arcana Lover's card. No, not Lover's card. What is it? Marriage card. There we go. Which needs love, right? And we have the sense of, what am I connecting to? What am I building? What do I desire in my life for me? And how do I move forward in the power that is me? It brings us to the Knight of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We're going to find that we are defending our passion. Now, if we have fire sign energy within our natal chart, it's coming through very powerfully in the public arena. Just as if we have Gemini energy within our natal chart, it's coming through very powerfully at our root. Also, if we're born on the cusp with Sagittarius, that's going to be coming through. So let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is rebirth, which is what this time is all about. It's about grounding. It's about rebirth. This is the Earth Star chakra located 6 inches below our feet. And this is a sense of, I'm being reborn in the power of connection. I'm being reborn in a sense of identity and self and what I deeply long for. We're giving ourselves wings. And it's not to say that being a caterpillar, there's anything bad with that, but we're going through this transformation and we're finding ourselves reborn, being able to soar above a lot of the limitations that we have had before. That's why they're coming through within our heart. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is the King of Pentacles. This is ourselves. We have to be mindful of getting in our own way. That's going to be something that's very important. We also have to be mindful of having to have everything boiled down to numbers and facts and, and money. We're going to be looking at things or taking certain people's advice where they see things very narrowly. We have to open up our mind and our eyes to say, what is important to me? What is empowering me? So let's look at what the angel number 22, there we go, what the angel number 22 brings to the table. And this is a powerful number because, it is the February, the second month, the second day of the 2000, of 2020, right? 2022 year. So this is a time that is going to bring so much to the table. So the angels are telling us we're on the right path, that our dreams are being able to become part of our reality. It doesn't mean that all our dreams are going to come true instantaneously. It means a part and a portion, there's a way forward, there's a power forward, there's a brilliance forward. And we're going to see part of our dreams, part of what we deeply desire starting to come forward within us. Our angels are on our side and we're going to feel that they have our back, that we're being connected with spirit, with what we desire, with what our soul deeply needs. Do not let fear and doubt hold you back. It will be so easy. It always is so easy to let fear and doubt and hurt and pain surpass the love. We're wired that way. In our evolving brain, when we were all, unevolved primates, we had to remember the fear first and everything else came second. But I had to remember who not to trust. I had to remember who, where not to go, who not to interact with. That's important for us. And yet we've evolved since the Industrial Revolution, right, to a place where we're not interacting with people the same way we once were. And the way that our lives have changed from the way our lives were for so long is absolutely astounding. The things that we have to fight against during this time, the things that we worry against, they're very abstract. They're not okay, this person's going to attack me, or, oh, these berries are bad to eat, or, oh, be mindful of wolves type of thing. It's all the abstract. It's social media. It's, it's bullying. It's relationships that are complex and yet we're all kept so very separate. It's all these things that come forward. So don't let fear and doubt hold us back. It's going to be so important to us during this time. Think big and be brave. Think big and be brave. And yet don't overburden ourselves because that's going to be what we tend to do. We're going to think, I'm on the right track. My angels are right there with me. It's time for my dreams to come true. I'm going to put everything on my plate. And it's kind of like if you put everything on your dinner plate and you say, I have to eat it all, you're going to get sick. It's going to be overwhelming. You can't do it, right? Or you'll have to force yourself. This is a time where we could have to force ourselves. We don't need to have to force ourselves to connect with our dreams. We need to connect with what we want and who we are. Take one thing at a time, savor it, enjoy it, fix it, work with it, and then move on to the next. It moves us to an alignment with our soul's path. That's what this time is also telling us. We're aligning with our soul's path. We're aligning with what we deeply desire. And if we go deeper into the number 22, there are 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. The word of God is called the lamp. We have the sun right here. And this is then the light by which we live. Again, the sun right here at our root coming through, which is brilliant. The word light is found 264 times in scripture. And when you take 264 and divide that by 12, which is the number for the divine authority, we have 22, which represents light. Now, I know that's convoluted, but when I read this, when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's beautiful. It's a convoluted way of bringing us illumination, which is how illumination always comes to us. It brings us to the sun. It brings us to light. It brings us to illumination of soul and self and what we desire and where it is that we need to be. We're opening up our eyes. We're seeing ourselves so much more. This is the happiest card in the whole entire deck. The sun guides us. The sun leads us. The sun helps us to understand. And as we're being guided, as we're being led, as the doors are opening, we are opening to what we greatly desire and what we greatly need. And so the sun comes in and says, this is your brilliance. Do not hide it away. Do not hide it from yourself and from the world. Now, will people try to take us by eyes when we are embracing what we love and what we deeply desire? Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely, because there's a jealousy there. There's also a fear there. If you're doing what you love, if you're embracing what you love, if you're opening up your heart and your soul, do I have to? And how can I? So there's fear and there's anger that comes forward to people who walk in the light of themselves, who say, this is me, and this is what I'm presenting to my world and to myself. It brings us to the lovers. It's falling in love with ourselves, with the world around us. It's our angels, holding our hands, guiding us. Angels, spirit guides, fairies, whatever you want to say it is. I mean, just embrace this power forward, this love forward, this beauty forward. It's the sacred masculine, sacred feminine aspects of ourselves coming together. It's a sense of I'm falling in love with who I am, with where I need to be, with the nurturing, with the protection, with the understanding of what I desire within my life. Because when I start to fall in love with my life, my world starts to fall in love with me. The people who are toxic tend to leave. The people who will add to us tend to come. There are struggles always that we will have to face, but there is growth and there is instinct and there is understanding that propels us forward. It moves us to the Three of Swords. We are going to face, as we're awakening during this time, as we're letting the light guide us forward, we're going to face the heartbreak, the pain, the disappointment, the despair that comes with living. Life is suffering. They say this in Buddhism and in Christianity. You have Christ suffering for the sins of everybody. We have the repeated motif of suffering within religions, within mythologies, within, our world, because that's what world is. It is through suffering that our neurons actually, either grow new pathways forward, figure out how to deal with it, or we can crumble, a bit. So here or we can crumble and then learn new ways to grow forward. It all depends. It all depends on how connected we are, what we desire, how we're, taking everything in. Also depends definitely on genetic predisposition. But what we're going to have here is the power of the heart moving us forward, the power of beauty within pain and realization of I'm not meant to live in this misery. I'm not meant for this to be, to my whole entire world. And we see people every single day who live within their pain, who live within their despair, who live within their doubt and their chaos and their hurt. And that is something to be aware of. And that is something to say no to. And even if we are living in our pain, even if we're saying, well, I don't know why I can't move past the losing of my house or the, financially being destroyed in that divorce or, losing my job. Did we mourn it? Have we grieved it? Have we connected? And how do we do that? We can't always do it by ourselves. Sometimes we need a spiritual advisor. Sometimes we need a therapist. Sometimes we need somebody to help us along. And that is a beautiful truth that gets to be realized. And that's where we're embracing the Fool. It's saying, I'm taking this pain and this hurt, and I am not going to let it stop me from going on my journey, from embracing my soul and what I need and what I'm discovering and who it is that I am. The Fool says, people will laugh. Let them laugh. It's so funny because I was thinking about it today. And I was thinking, in the Old Testament, Sarah laughed when she was told when she heard that they would have a child, right? Her and Abraham would have a child. She was too old. She was too this. She was too that. She pushed out her dreams. How many of us push out our dreams because we listen to the laughter of others? We let them saying, oh my gosh, you're a fool, say, oh my gosh, I'm a fool, and push out how we accept our dream, how we pull ourselves forward. We might not have laughed, but because they laughed, we became embarrassed. Because they laughed, we became ashamed. And this is a time where we're starting to find ourselves, finding our footing, finding what we desire, finding where it is that we need to be, and saying, this is the path that gets to be for me. Every single hero's journey begins first with taking the risk of being the fool, of falling, of failing, of people not understanding, and saying, I'm still going to move forward in this. It brings us to the 10 of Cups. It brings us emotionally to a place of love and happiness and success and bounty. It says, this is what I love and desire within my life. This is my passion and my beauty and my brilliance. This is what I'm moving forward in. The 10 of Cups is, and they all live happily ever after. The thing with happiness is that my happiness and your happiness might be very different from one another. And yet we get to honor it. We have to stop trying to make ourselves fit in the box of other people's expectations. And as we're doing this, we're going to start to see, again, who is at my table, who is coming forward for me, who loves me and has always loved me, who are the people who have always wanted the best for me. And if we don't have anybody like that in our lives right now, or in our lives at all, like we've never had it, we need to start connecting with our angels, with our spirit guides, with divine power to say, this is showing up for me. This is guiding me forward. Because so often we bring to the table, we hear the words of celebration of the people who couldn't stay in our lives, who could never really celebrate us, who weren't, ever going to protect us, ever going to be on our side, ever going to love us and connect with us the way that we needed to. That unconditional, unbridled love and connection. And so here we look at this and say, I can pick, right now I can pick which one rules my heart, which one rules my life. And you know what? It is harder to choose the 10 of Cups. It is, because it's so easy to go towards the negative, to say, oh, but I'll make this person love me. Oh, but I'll make this person, I'll prove them wrong type of thing. No, it's like, I'll live my life. And they might never know that they were wrong. They might never have that capacity within them. But I get to live my life, and I get to have the capacity for happiness, joy, success, and bounty. It moves us to the 4 of Wands. It moves us to creativity, to union, and to freedom, to connection, to being able to celebrate. The doors opening. In the public arena here on the 2nd of February, we have the doors opening to us. We have this sense of celebrate the illumination, celebrate the insight, celebrate the desire. Let us see what becomes. Let us see how we become. And let us embrace that grace, that beauty, and that intensity. The 4 of Wands, again, is the minor arcana marriage card. What am I married to? Not who am I married to. What is it that I'm committing myself to within my life? It can change, most definitely, as we're on this journey. But what is it that I love and desire? What is it that's me? And it moves us here. And it can move us to moving house. It can move us to, moving states or countries or, provinces, wherever the heck we are. It doesn't matter. It can have us looking at things and being like, okay, what is my soul telling me? Why am I gravitating towards these videos on YouTube, TikTok, on whatever social media I'm on, Instagram? Like, what is it that my soul is trying to tell me? But because I've been cut off of my spiritual understanding, I've been cut off from the light that shines within me because of our world, because of what we value, and the logic of it. We're not supposed to say, oh, I have a gut feel. We're not supposed to say anything that isn't quantifiable. It moves us to a place of disadvantage. Can we get that back? Can we get the place of intense understanding, of connection back? Can we awaken it? Or can we learn how to trust it? Because the world has laughed and we have listened. It moves us to the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands here says flow and fire, intuition, flow and fire and intuition. How do I flow with the fire of my intuition? How do I embrace the passion and the fire and the intensity that is me without, kind of being led astray, just burning forward, letting things rage out of control. It's kind of like the difference between a controlled fire to keep the underbrush healthy and to keep the forest alive, and just an absolute blazing mess that is terrifying. How do I move forward? How do I connect? And what is it that I deeply need, want, and desire for my life and for myself? It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that's frailty. That is Sagittarius energy. We have to be mindful of being out of balance. We have to be mindful of trying to follow the balance of another person, which isn't necessarily going to be our own at all. And it moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is determination. The salmon swimming upstream. The salmon in so many, cultures and so many mythologies and folklores is a sign of of wisdom, of transformation, of rebirth. And so we're embracing that energy here in our solar plexus chakra, saying, what am I determined to get to? Why is it that I'm swimming against the current of the world, the current of other people? What is it that I'm heading towards, and why is that? It moves us to our subconscious rooted energy, and that is the death card. Scorpio energy, the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new, the entering into a new phase of our lives, a new phase of ourselves, a new sense of this is who I am. And it's beautiful. It's also astoundingly challenging, right? We see ourselves transform. And as we are transforming, we need to embrace what we desire for our lives and from our lives, how we move ourselves forward, and where we need to be. It brings us to our subconscious emotional self, not emotional self, but inner self, the way we look at ourselves inside. And it is the Six of Wands. I need to start celebrating me. I need to start saying, good job, well done. We need to start to connect. We need to start to say, this is what I'm doing. This is the one thing that I'm changing. This is the one power that I'm embracing. And I'm opening up the doors to success, to bounty, to brilliance. And as I do so, it brings us to our subconscious emotional self. And that is the universe. The universe opens. The world opens. This is the world in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. The world opens. We get to see, we get to connect, we get to become, and we get to embrace so much more than we ever thought. And as the world opens, we become that ephemeral being, that one that isn't held back by anything, that can fly into the universe, that can fly towards the sun, that is, and not burn like Icarus, that can be so much more than what we thought we could ever be. It's kind of like the world is open to us. The universe is open to us. Are we following the mentality of miserly depletion that our world tends to have? If you do not check these boxes, if you're not educated in these places, if you're not as pretty as these people, if you're not this or that, you will not amount. That is preposterous. That is a way of psychologically keeping people down. This is a time to say, I am awakening to what I need, to what I want, and who I am, and the world is open to me. I get to see where I want to stand within the world. It doesn't mean that we have to walk the red carpet or become rock stars. It can mean that, we love our children, or we love our dogs, or, we walk outside and plant a garden. It can be anything, because we're claiming our place, which doesn't have to be the extraordinary. It could be the extraordinary that we do really well. A simple life is not a bad life. A simple desire, a simple connection, a simple world is not a bad world. We tend to have forgotten that. It moves us to our subconscious public arena self, and it's the Lovers. I'm falling in love with my life again. It says love and harmony and union, love, harmony, and union. Around us like a mantra, saying love, the harmony of the union of the self, of the connection of the soul, of what we greatly desire, need, see, and, embrace within our lives and for ourselves. And how are we being guided towards what we deeply love? Okay. All right, Capricorn. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy, as we embrace the power and the intensity of this time. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Capricorn, and may you have a blessed February 2nd.